videos have 5-6 million views per short videos that he makes. Just an absolutely amazing individual. And then his videos get copied to hundreds of other video sharing sites. And so really we don't know how many tens of millions more have seen his material just in 2 short years on the internet. He lives in the United Kingdom in Cardiff. He's made some great videos with my material that I've really been flattered that he's done that. He has stood up for us when YouTube and Google have been censoring us, banning our videos, knocking our hit counts down to knock us out of the top 10 so that people don't see us there on the front page of YouTube or Google. He has put out videos. He won the 3 people that won. We had 3 different contests. He won one of the contests for the best internet censorship video a few months ago. He won the first round of contest exposing the different cocktail, the different ways. There's a lot of different ways they're shutting down, regulating the web. Obama has announced upgrading the internet. That is Internet 2, the consortium, to start shutting down the old free open web that we told you about. They're going to have free internet wireless nationwide with taxpayer money paying for it. Nothing's free. It's going to be highly censored with only a few thousand sites of the billions that you can actually visit. Canada's openly saying they're going to restrict the web. Australia headline in their newspapers, Chinese-style censorship, banning all alternative sites, basically. It's here. It's happening. And he had all these top honors of top director in the UK, one of the top directors in the US, the most hits, the most views. He was, up there in the top 20 in every category. So they basically restricted him, knocked him off the front page. And again, we don't care about having little blue ribbons for being number 1. We don't care about being on the front page for, the fame or whatever. It's that's where the billions of people that visit YouTube and Google go to do their viewing. It's like the TV guide. We know they've been restricting my hit counts, my views, because when you upload a Google video, you can still see what your hits and views are. When we complained a year ago about them knocking us from 10 million, 20 million views on a video down to 0, that build back up in millions in a day, they'd knock it down again. They just made those numbers secret. Unless you're the person that posted it, you can still see it. We saw them censor Fabled Enemies a few months ago. When it came out, it hit number 1 within 2 days, and they just erased our numbers. There was over 1 million views because we uploaded it. We could see that. Only people that could, us and Google, before it was public. And a year ago they changed it, and we saw them internally knock it off. And we also got screenshots of them knocking us off the front page. And I have asked people like NufffRespect, being censored, being cheated is horrible, but it lets you know you're hurting them. So and please, NufffRespect, do not leave YouTube. And all of you, when you get attacked, know it means you're hurting them. Just start uploading to 2 or 3 other backup sites, other smaller video services. People are on my message board at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com saying, why do you care? Forget YouTube and Google. Well, YouTube's like number 4 or 5 on the web. Google's number 2 on the web. Yeah, there are other sites getting millions of views a day, total. But you can get millions of views per video for your video on YouTube and Google. That's 90-something% of the video sharing area. That's where we need to be. We don't retreat from the field of battle. And NufffRespect is calling on everyone. Enough, I'd love it if you made another video, including just overall internet censorship and how this is the front lines, this fight at YouTube. I would love to promote that, push that myself, but we're playing in the background the challenge you've got for December 19th to make your video number 1 overall on YouTube, and then to show people if they do censor and keep you off the front page as they do my videos. And again, this is how it all starts. We know that Lieberman and others in the Congress with the Violent Radicalization Act have said, we want to censor the web. We want the government to tell you what to take down, what to put up. We see YouTube shifting away from user-made videos that have made it so popular to fluff and corporate videos on the front page. They did that this weekend. There was a huge backlash, so they stopped it for the time being, but they say on their rules page that they're probably going to go back to this. So they let us build YouTube and Google up, then they kick us off of it. And so without further ado, we go to John Watkins in Cardiff in the United Kingdom. And I've never talked to you in person. John, we appreciate you coming on with us.
Hi, Alex. Thanks for having me on the show. It is a real pleasure to be able to speak with you. You were so right. Everything you said is just so right. This censorship issue is something that we really can't afford to ignore because, it's our free speech we're talking about, really. And And I noticed this, the first time I actually noticed this kind of censorship taking place on the internet was about 2 years ago when Google started censoring movies like Terror Storm and Loose Change. And the censorship was just so crude and so obvious and so sneaky that it was just infuriating to watch. I mean, for example, as you said, resetting the hit counters, on certain videos like Terror Storm to knock them out of the top 10 list. And, when I saw that, first of all, I thought, well, maybe it is some kind of software error, but it was happening so often, and it only seemed to happen to truth videos. And another thing I noticed was that on Google Video, they would display the top 10 videos on their homepage. And now, at this time, 2 years ago, I think Terror Storm and Loose Change were there in the top 10. They displayed every other video that was in the top 10 on their homepage except Terror Storm and Loose Change. And again, that set a few alarm bells ringing, in my mind. Then in February of 2007, a couple of months later, Google pulled the infamous BBC video where they reported that Building 7 had collapsed, 20 minutes before it actually did collapse. And, every time somebody tried to upload that video, it was pulled within minutes. And it really was laughable to see. You could sense the panic at Google. They didn't want that video, going out there, basically. Then when people, started to wise up to those tricks, what they did then was just remove the hit counters completely from all videos. So we couldn't really verify for ourselves which videos were actually the most popular. We just basically had to take Google's word for it.
And YouTube is now moving in that same direction, as is MySpace and many others, censoring at every level. So it's here, it's happening, and they shouldn't hold themselves out as this free, open community. And then when our videos don't violate any of their rules or terms, they go in and specifically target them for censorship. This is false advertising. This is fraud.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. It is fraudulent, and it was this censorship that I witnessed 2 years ago on Google that made me want to start up a YouTube channel. And back then, Google didn't own YouTube, and there wasn't that much censorship going on YouTube at that time. There probably was some, but it was nothing like it is today. So at that time I thought, I'll put out some videos on YouTube and hopefully try and get this information out there to people, and so, it's thanks to you, Alex, and people like you that, I've been able to expand my worldview. And when you realize the manipulation that's taking place, due to this globalist elite, the first thing you want to do is inform other people. And that's what I'm trying to do on YouTube, is just to get info out there to wake people up. And now it's become so difficult. And it only seems to be after Google bought YouTube, that is when all this censorship seemed to kick in, because it didn't really exist back 2 years ago, but now it's rife on YouTube right now. And
and that's because we're going into a worldwide controlled depression. The banks are engineering it. They're getting ready to launch new wars. They just tried to start World War III between Pakistan and India, as Paul Watson covered earlier. We need you to make one on that, Nuff, because, so much is... you're absolutely right. It's all coming to a head. They have the Violent Radicalization Act they're trying to pass. They list architects and engineers for 9/11 Truth with al-Qaeda terrorists. They're getting desperate. They're the crooks. And higher-ups are saying, shut them down, but that's actually great news because it shows we're having an effect.
Exactly, that's right. And I think it scares them that we're getting information out there to the masses. And, on YouTube, the methods of censorship now are just so blatant. One method is where, they remove videos under the excuse that they contain inappropriate content. And this has happened to me a few times about...
I'll have videos that don't even show a woman in a short skirt, and they get banned for inappropriate. Or people creating fake Alex Jones accounts. Then they themselves go in and complain on me. Stuff gets shut down. There's people also editing my videos together where I'm saying racist things. But yeah, tell folks about some of the other tactics.
Well, as I say, they remove videos under the pretense that they contain inappropriate content. But YouTube doesn't give you any explanation as to what it is that they deem to be inappropriate. So you're just left in the dark, basically. And, the the one thing I noticed with the videos that they removed of mine under the pretense of, inappropriate content, the one thing they all had in common was that they all chalked up a lot of views within the first 12 hours. I think it was something like 20,000 views within the first 12 hours. And so it seems to me that Google doesn't mind us uploading videos that sort of expose what's happening with this globalist agenda, but they don't seem to like it when those videos, gather a lot of views very quickly, because obviously...
Yeah, here's an example. You made that one about Question Your Reality. It got 200,000 views in one day. It was number one, and then suddenly the comments kept going up by the thousands, but suddenly it was frozen for a few days, frozen in its hits to knock it out of the top.
That's right. That's exactly what I do. What they do. Well, what I noticed with that video was it generated a huge number of hits. Then all of a sudden it just sort of stopped. It was weird, basically. It just didn't